What's up, guys? So last night I just absolutely crashed, like racked down around 10 o'clock. Probably because of all the sugar right before going to bed. I had those 2 donuts with French toast crunch, and then I had that pint of ice cream. So talk about a food coma. But then this morning I woke up after the 10,000 calorie challenge with a headache, and I haven't had a headache in like 5 years. So I'm assuming it's because of the 12 grams of sodium I consumed yesterday. And then I weighed myself right when I woke up. With the camera, I weighed 219. Yesterday when I woke up with the camera, I weighed 215. So a 4-pound weight gain in 24 hours. Impressive, right? So I'm really not that hungry. I'm going to eat a little something before I go to the gym. I'm going to train shoulders and arms and then get a few other things done today. But we'll see how I survive this sodium-induced hangover, this food hangover I'm experiencing right now. So I'm just keeping it pretty simple. 2 servings of Raisin Bran Crunch, a banana, and then a scoop and a half of MTS cookies and cream whey. And like one little pro tip, you know what I used to just like mix everything together in one bowl, and it was a pain and like you get clumps and stuff. Just throw your protein in your almond milk or water in a shaker, and then pour it over your cereal and whatever else you throw in there. And I'm just going back to my regular macros. So 250 protein, 90 fat, 475 carb. Because I figure there's no way to account for like the 10,000 calories that I ate. So just get back on track. I was just having fun with it, and my weight will like go back to normal in like 2 or 3 days. So not a big deal. So it's very rare that I really ever match in general, but specifically when I go to the gym. Oh, look at those chest gains. That's some good lighting right here. But this is one of those times. So greenish hat, greenish shirt that matches, and then black spandex pants. And I think I don't match ever. It's because I really don't buy clothes. The only time I ever really acquire new clothes is Christmas when my mom buys me like shirts and socks and stuff. That's really the only time. And I got this shirt from my buddy who is Daniel and Bailey's brother. So I kind of just acquired this. She signed the back of it too, so pretty sweet. But taking pre-workout and heading to the gym for shoulders and arms. So I can usually contribute the outcome of my workout to my pre-workout. So not just like pre-workout and drink, but like pre-workout music. I like to like get in the truck, drive to the gym, not talk to anyone, just like be in that zone and enjoy the pre-workout buzz. Just let the buzz take over. But like my go-to station lately on Pandora has been Hoodie Allen. And I go through like stages. So like to the gym, it's Hoodie Allen. When I get to the gym, it's been like rap and hip hop. I'm not really a big like hard rock fan. And then when I'm not working out or like going to the gym, it's usually country music. Like country music like 80% of the time. Hoodie Allen pretty much the rest of the time, and then a small percentage of rap. So I'm like kind of curious what you guys listen to like pre-workout or at the gym. So just leave it in the comments below and I'll check it out. So drinking this and hitting the weights. So I get to the gym and I realize I forgot my camera stand. So I pulled in the nearest Walmart because I broke my camera stand this past week anyways. So I walk into Walmart and the only camera stand they had was this one. It's a 58-inch one. It's kind of similar to the one I have right now, or did have, but it was $28. This is the box it was in. I did not open it. It was like that. This side has a hole in it. So I get to the cash register and the lady's like, all right, well, I'll take 10% because the box is banged up. And she looks at me and she's like, what's 10% of 28? I was like, $280. And she was like, so what am I supposed to charge you? I'm like thinking, isn't this your job? Ended up, I didn't even get the discount because her manager told me I couldn't get it because the box was damaged, not the camera stand itself. So, oh well. So I'm going to go to the gym, film this workout, and I'm expecting to have crazy pumps because of the 12 grams of sodium last night. So let's see how this works out. Alright guys, so going into this workout, I expected crazy pumps. and I definitely was not disappointed. By the end of this workout, my arms were more pumped than they've ever been in my life, probably. And this is one of those workouts where, and it might be because the new lighting in this gym is just awesome, but it's one of those workouts where you just know you look good, you know you're making improvements, and drastic improvements. So I think this is like the leanest I've been sitting between 215 and 220 pounds ever. So only like 6 or 7 months after graduating Ranger School, I put on more size than I had before going to Ranger School. So the diet and the training is definitely working. But the last time I remember having pumps this crazy was just when I finished contest prep for my bodybuilding competition in spring of 2013. And I was lean, like I was super lean. If you go on my Instagram and go like weeks and weeks back, you'll see just how lean I was. My abs were just popping and veins everywhere. But after contest prep was over, after my competition was over, I was with the Army and we went to Pizza Hut for lunch one day. And I remember eating like 14 slices of pizza, breadsticks, salad, all this stuff, just because I was like so hungry. And the next day I worked out and I was so lean, it looked like there were like road maps and like snakes coming out of my arms. The veins were out of control. So like that's one reason I cannot wait to be lean again, is just because you get super vascular, and it just is super motivating seeing that. But even though I'm like 220 right now, today I thought I looked pretty lean and more vascular than usual. So I think the sodium was definitely kicking in. And Sundays are definitely the day to train down here. And what's really different about like up north, where I'm originally from, and coming down here, and it's definitely different in like Georgia too, but on Sundays down here where I'm at in Texas, you go on the streets, you see no one. Like this gym was empty. I think there were like 1 or 2 stragglers today. So like Sundays is the best time to record. But like up where I'm from in Pennsylvania, on Sundays everyone's still out going for lunch, going to the gym and stuff. So it's a completely different like atmosphere in 2 completely different regions of the United States. So it's really weird to see that, but very interesting too. So just finishing up this workout, I did shoulders with overhead press concentration, going up to 185, using bumper plates for the first time, and then just finishing up with some triceps and biceps. And tomorrow is leg day, so I cannot wait for that. So I have a triple decker PBJ and that fluff sandwich isn't the best idea ever. I really don't know what it is. So I'm gonna eat this along with some other things like chicken and potatoes, keeping it clean, and then get some grocery shopping done. I'll show you that stuff, what I pick up, and then I'm gonna take the dog to the lake, and then we'll just do a little talk at the end to wrap up the video. So I just got done grocery shopping, grabbed a few things. I still have like all the essentials here a little bit. I got like chicken and egg whites and stuff in the fridge, so I didn't need that. So just a few things I picked up. Whole wheat bagels. These just help me hit fiber goals a lot. I think per bagel, there's 7 grams of fiber, so that helps a lot. I have 10 pounds of red potatoes back there. It's probably one of my favorite carb sources. Fat-free Ready Whip, almond milk, oats, just some seasoning for chicken. This is a beer can chicken seasoning. Some barbecue sauce. Honey, because I want to make peanut butter and honey sandwiches this week. Pop-Tarts. I'm going to try a new one out. These are the cinnamon roll flavor, so I've never had those before. Some chocolate chips. Throw those in pretty much everything. Oats, pancakes, recipes. Then some of these fat-free, sugar-free Jell-O mixes. So I got like cheesecake, vanilla, butterscotch, and chocolate. Some eggs. Got some chicken broth, some reduced sodium chicken broth, because when I cook rice in the rice cooker, sometimes I'll use that instead of water. Trying out a new coffee. This is peanut butter cookie, so we'll see how that tastes. I got 2 ice creams. This first one is Blue Bell. So the macros on this, for the whole pint, is 12 grams of fat, 60 grams of carbs, and 12 grams of protein, with 16 grams of fiber. And this stuff, Cinnamon Bun Fun, slow churned Eddies, or dryers. So per serving, 3.5 grams of fat, 18 grams of carbs, and 2 grams of protein. And then a pineapple. If you get a whole pineapple, it's only like $1.98, so it's not a bad deal. Quinoa is one of my other favorite carb sources. because it's high in protein and it's high in fiber. And then I got some of these Chobani. These are the new ones. So this is a tropical citrus. This one is a raspberry lemon, and then green tea, which sounds oddly interesting. And then of course, in the $5 movie bin, Space Jam. So I had to pick that up because it's one of my favorite movies from when I was a kid. Alright, so I'm going to do one of these things where I just talk about what was going through my head in the gym, because in the last video I did where I brought this up, it got pretty good feedback, so I'll just do another one. And today, what I was thinking was first, holy pumps. That's what I wrote down, holy pumps. And the second one was that you need to have an attitude that's like a you can't bring me down attitude. And to go into an explanation, this was kind of sparked because I'm going to this new gym. Alright, and there's new people there that haven't seen someone carrying a camera around before with a tripod and wearing bright yellow spandex pants. It's a guy. So automatically they judge. And in the past, this is something that probably would have bothered me. Like completely. My mood probably would have been influenced on what they would have said or did in response to what I was doing. And in 2014, for some reason, I can't tell you why, my mindset kind of just changed. And everyone always told me like in your mid-20s is when your judgment like fully develops. And I was always one of those guys that was like, nope, not true. But I'm starting to be convinced that maybe it is. So if you're in your mid-20s, get ready. Something might be happening. But like having a you can't bring me down attitude is something that I think a lot of people are held back by. So they say there's something you really want to do, but you're kind of embarrassed by it, or you're influenced by what other people might say or do in response to it. So you just don't do it. Therefore, you never accomplish that goal that you really want to do. And recently, this is something that I really could care less about. Like I see people talking in the gym or like looking at me set up my tripod and camera. But they don't really know what I'm doing it for, the sole purpose. If they ask me, I'll go an explanation, but I'm not going to feel obligated to go and explain myself to them, because in reality, they might be people I never see again in my life, you know? They might just be someone that's going to the gym this one day and never again. So if this is something that holds you back, maybe just like try small things every day that are out of your comfort zone in an effort to accomplish your end goal or like task that you want to do in life. And I think there's something that everyone wants to do that they're uncomfortable about. I think everyone has some sort of goal that they're uncomfortable to reach because of the journey it takes to get there. And like I'm just telling you, and I'm not trying to motivate you or like falsely motivate you, because when people try to falsely motivate me, it kind of like unmotivates me, if you know what I mean. But I'm trying to just give you insight on what goes through my head, because I think I have a pretty positive outlook on life right now and mindset, and it might be something that you could use. So I'm not trying to like give you this false motivation, but I'm just trying to tell you what goes through my head, because I think I'm pretty successful in reaching the goals that I set out to do. That's just my personal opinion. So I hope this video reaches you somehow and gives you a little bit of motivation. But that about wraps it up, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video.